I had that dream again. My small business needs someone to fulfill orders, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning. Carol is fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Get 50% off your first job post at linkedin.com/Pandora offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's early Black Friday deals are going fast. Don't miss up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. And with Christmas around the corner, you're gonna need more string lights, right? Save $4 on GE LED 100 count string lights, now just $5.98. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. Select locations only while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Uh-oh, it's turkey time. Uh-oh, get your basters up. What's gonna go? What's gonna splurt? I don't know. Put it in my mouth. Yeah, it doesn't
Everybody
rhyme.
raise your gravy-flavored buzzballs to the sky.
Put them up, put them up.
It's Kara Clank and Jackie Zabrowski back for another episode of Who's the Bitch, and it's Thanksgiving Eve today.
Oh my gosh. And
It's
this
the
is where
eve
all
of Thanksgiving.
all the elves are fashioning all their turkey hooves. I don't know what the elves are doing, but I guess the elves are getting ready for something else. I forget. You guys do the elf?
Hell fucking no.
Elf on the shelf.
Somebody wrote a tweet or something that I caught. No, I'm not even on Twitter. I don't know where I keep getting these snippets of. People just post tweets as Instagrams. Somebody said something like, "The elf on the shelf is MAGA. I will not explain any further." And I was like, or something like that, or Republican, and I was like, I love that. We do not do elf on the shelf.
Sorry, I feel like we talked about this last year, and I apologize. I forgot.
I saw some fucking crazy thing of a woman cutting holes into her child's pajamas in the night and then putting the elf on the shelf next to the kid with a pair of scissors and all the holes.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of shit are we spreading?
Next time it's going to be while it's on you, kid.
This little elf does horrible vandalizing shit and basically cuts up your clothes while you're sleeping. I cannot. No, there's enough going on at the holidays. I'm not doing elf on a shelf. But you know what? If that's what you are into, feel free. Listen, it's the eve of Thanksgiving. Christmas and Hanukkah are right around the corner. Please mark your calendars for our holiday bitchathon, December 11th, 4 to 8. It's a jumbo size. That's our longest live stream ever. Will we throw up?
Yes.
I don't know how many buzz balls. The last one I got pretty buzzed.
Oh my God, we're going to bring extra holiday balls. They've got elf
there's
balls
an eggnog
out now. Yes, there's eggnog.
Yes.
There's the cookie batter one. That one was.
I'll try.
It's delicious, but also, oh my God, it's very, very sweet.
I love sweet.
I know you do.
I'm a sweet little bitch when it comes to alcohol. So 4 to 8 p.m. Pacific. So that's sort of an afternoon delight for you West Coast people. And then East Coast, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Cancel your plans. And if you're that listener that called in telling us that their tofu boyfriend canceled all his plans to watch the bitchathon at the same time as her, why don't you guys just get together and watch it together? If you're still together since our episode came out. But the whole thing is on youtube.com/@who'sthebee, and there's a chat. You can get into the chat and you can just watch, or you can go in the chat and make funny little barbs.
We love talking to you guys.
The bitchlings, and we have a great time, and it's so much fun. And we're just going to be drinking and bitching, and you can call in live. You can go to who'sthebitch.com for the way to call in. And mark your cal. December 11th. Hopefully you don't have a shitty. I actually have another Christmas party I have to go to later that night.
Oh my God!
We'll see.
After the bitchathon?
We'll see if I make it. We'll see if I.
After all the buzz balls we're gonna consume.
Listen, we'll see. We'll see if I make it.
We'll be giving advice like Meredith Marks by the end of it.
You want to talk about the rumors and the nastiness?
The nastiness.
But speaking of parties that you may or may not be coming to, we were supposed to meet at a party yesterday.
We were.
And you texted me to let me know that you were not coming.
Yes.
And that changed my want to go to the party. And your husband said what to you?
So here's the thing. we were all supposed to go to this event, and I decided hours before I decided that we really didn't have time to make it. So I decided to hit up, even though we know everybody that's going to this party, but specifically I knew that you and Jared, Kara, enjoy Jeff and I.
And we had talked about going to it when we double dated like a week ago.
Right.
So it would have been weird for you to just not come and not say.
Right, and not say anything. So I texted Kara about it to let you guys know that we weren't going to be there. And Jeff was like, well, why do you have to let specifically Kara know? I was like, well, because we talked about being there.
Yeah.
So I want to let, she specifically, it's not that she would care if we were there. It's that I'm letting her know she was expecting to see us, so she's not going to see us.
And then my husband, we were going to go. He got sick. He didn't feel good. Do you think he thought about telling a single person? No.
No.
Men do not do that.
No.
If I'd gotten sick, I'd been like, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to be there. You would
have just let me know. You wouldn't have
I don't think I would have told everybody.
Right. But you would have let me know.
Yes.
And we would have let each other know. And so I didn't
It's just so funny how they operate differently.
It's so insane that he looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, he
for
said
texting
he said that you thought you had main character energy or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't think that at all. In fact, I think it's so nice when someone's like, it's basically like if it's somebody you were looking forward to seeing at this party, you're letting them know we're not going to be, I can't look forward to seeing you anymore because I'm not going to see you.
Right. And you knew that I was going to be there. So it was just funny because we didn't even get into a fight about it. He just thought it was so crazy that I would text you that we weren't going. And I was like, you are such a smart man. And you just wouldn't even think to get. He's like, well, men just don't talk to each other that way. I was like, but
you can have groups of friends, but I think also there's usually a few core people that you're like, I'd really love them to be there.
Yes.
And so I have definitely told people oh, by the way, I'll get invited to a kid's birthday party in a group mom thread, right?
Yes.
And I'll just text one or two of the friends, I know we both said we were going to go to that party, but I'm not going to make it. I can't make it now, but I'm not going to maybe text the whole thread because I don't. They don't care.
Then it's main character energy.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had sent out an email to everyone I know that was going, just to be like, just so everyone knows,
we won't be attending. You're going to have to make do without us.
You shan't be seeing my visage this evening. I didn't do that. I feel like that's main character energy. And oftentimes, you're right, people are not thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. And that is honestly...
Which I say all the time. I'm like, you got to remind people. You got to ask for what you want because people are not always thinking about you. You got to ask people, remind people. But yeah, I mean... I was appreciative.
Thank you. And you know what? Thank you, because specifically I wanted to bring this on the episode because I feel like that's one of those almost like an old school way of communicating about something. It made me feel like it's well, I'd already RSVP'd.
Especially in LA where everybody loves to fucking bail.
God, they love to bail.
Everybody loves to bail. It's you could walk into any party and almost it's the person hosting the party. You're like, did they bail?
Yeah. Just assuming because everybody bails here.
Yeah.
And especially there was a weather. God forbid there's a weather in Los Angeles. Nobody could do anything then.
Yeah.
It rained for a day, Kara. How are people expected to get to the party?
How can I drive in this weather?
It's raining
There's
outside.
rain falling from the sky.
But I guess, it wasn't even just when I was in the shower. I've been thinking about you a lot, Kara. And outside as well as inside of the shower. And you've just been, I don't know if it's just because we do this show now and I'm just Kara is my sister. I feel like Kara knows, you are the one that I feel like I would go to with anything in a who's the bitchery type way.
Ooh.
And I appreciate that you have not only showed me the way, but you've also given me guidance in shorthand in my relationship. And I brought up, so I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on a Who's the Bitch episode before, the he likes movies thing.
Yes, I made the mistake of accepting a double date. Just to recap, in case anyone doesn't remember this, I made a mistake of accepting a double date with a couple one time. and I really hit it off with the girl, as I usually do. I really hit it off with the woman, and she was like, "Oh, my husband like loves movies," and I was like, "My husband loves movies," but of course, men love movies. I mean, like everybody likes movies.
Yeah,
but I meant it more like she was like, "Oh, he goes to the ArcLight, he goes to the Vista," and I was like, "Oh yeah, like that's what my husband likes too. He likes old movies. He likes, So I was like, I meant it more like that. And so now when I'm with my husband or whatever, and I go, I really actually think you would like this guy. He always goes, "Oh, so does he like movies?
Does he like movies?"
That's like our little joke.
Well, because he ended up not liking this person.
Well, we did not like this person.
Yes.
It did not. The movies were all that we had.
The movies are all you had.
And we didn't even have the movies, to be honest.
And now you use the shorthand of "he likes movies" as a shorthand to be like, it's not just, oh, you both like movies, so you're definitely going to love each other. But now I have adopted in my own relationship the like, oh, it's not like a "he likes movies" situation, because I was also trying to set up a double date with new friends.
Yeah.
And Jeff hadn't met the partner of the other person. And so it is, when you're setting up a double date, sometimes it does come off like you're going on a date with a person. Like I feel like you are going, like a couple is going on a date with another couple. You kind of want to get along with both of them. And so I said it wasn't a "he likes movies" situation, but then I realized, I'm like, is it bitchy to take your shorthand? And is it
And I say no. I say no because I like you guys. I guess if I found out that some couple I didn't like was like using our little phrases and jokes, I'd be like, fuck you. But like, I don't think so. I think I like it because it's you guys. But we take on so many people's other jokes and stuff too all the time.
Right.
I say a bunch of stuff to Jared that are like jokes from his childhood that he's told me. And then he does the same for me, like stuff that's like jokes with my siblings he takes on. So it's like we're all taking on jokes all the time.
Right.
Jokes are like language, they're evolving, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, and they're here for each other. So I just want to say thank you all across the board, Kara. You're just guiding me in so many ways you don't even know.
Well, did you catch me? And I had to be a bitch to my husband on our double date. He was being rude to me at one point, and I shot him a look. I shot him a look so bad that I was like, oh, I gotta see if Jackie and Jeff clocked that.
Oh, I didn't clock the look.
Oh my God. At one point I was saying something and he goes, "Okay, we get it." And I go, Excuse me? And he was like, and then we got back to the conversation. And as soon as we walked away from you guys, he goes, "I just want to say I'm sorry." It's like he knows.
Yes.
What he was being a dick.
Oh, I had
and
something.
I'm like, you're not allowed. If I want to repeat the same fucking thing 75 times,
I'm going to do it.
You got to sit here and fucking listen to it.
You're going to support me.
You can pull me to the bathroom and go, "Are you having a stroke?" But not in front of other people.
No.
Are you going to say that you've had enough of what I have to say?
Yeah, you're right. In fact, it's very funny.
He gets mad because I talk about how I don't like weapons. And I was going on about my reasons for not liking
the
weapons.
movie,
and
not
he goes,
the idea of weapons.
I famously love the idea of weapons. Guns, knives, anything you can make sharp. But it was so funny. Right as we walked away, he was like, "Sorry."
But that is also, though, that is the sign of a wonderful working communicative relationship, because as someone that we love going on double dates with other friends, and there's nothing like being on a double date when the other people are starting to argue and then they let it ruin the rest of the conversation. You and Jared didn't. You didn't call too much attention to it. It was something that you both clocked it, and then you talked about it afterwards. The way it should be done.
But
it
it's
was
happened
a
on other double dates before, and it's always kind of the same thing. And so I'm like, you really got to work on this, because it's always like me just you thinking that I'm saying something too many times. It's like, you could just let me look stupid then. Let me look stupid.
Right,
you don't
but
need
also,
to call out that I'm saying something too many times.
And we love you. So if you say it a million times, it's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm not paying attention.
He did it over the summer at another double date. And I was like, you just did it again. We were walking out. I go, you did it again. And he goes, "I just want to say I'm sorry."
And he knows. But it's something that obviously he's working on, and something that he's at least aware of, which is leagues beyond a lot of other people. I'll say that, Kara.
Jesus. Anyway. I hope you guys are all enjoying a great Thanksgiving. I'm probably screaming at my husband right now as you listen to this.
Oh my God. But also, if you are on your walk right now, if you are on your smoking weed walk, trying to get away from the family, hit us up. Just message us. Hit us up over on Who's the Bee over on Insta. We just love hearing. Oh, sometimes you can't spew it at your family, but you can spew it at us.
Yes.
Who'sthebitch.com.
Yeah, call in, leave a email, a DM, or leave a voicemail. Or if you really feel like you want to do a back and forth with us, call us at the Bitchathon. That's when you can actually get the back and forth with us. But also we might start trying to get people to call in while we're recording, right?
We are.
Pretty soon, we're going to start asking some of you. So if you have a good story and you want to email us, we might email you back and ask if you're available to talk to us on the phone. It wouldn't be as live as like the Bitchathon because there wouldn't be so many people watching live, but you'd be able to talk to us and we could also probably edit out anything that you say that you don't want us to say, us to put on.
We want more of you guys live.
We want more live interaction.
And we're trying to figure that out.
Thrive. So yeah, we'll stay tuned for more of that.
Hey crafters, you're invited to visit the new Knit and Sew shop at Michael's. Find hundreds of fabrics in over 800 stores and over 100,000 styles on Michaels.com. Shop your favorite yarn brands, including Big Twist, Karen Cakes, and Burnett in multiple styles and colors. You'll also find all the machines, tools, and notions you need with top brands like Singer, Brother, and Pellon, plus essential thread and floss. It's all new at Michael's.
It's never too early for Lowe's Black Friday deals. Snag some of our biggest savings of the season right now, like 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. And get yourself free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit before the Black Friday rush. Because everyone loves free stuff, right? Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Okay, let's get into our first submissions, right? Are we ready, Jackie?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, amazing. All right. You got it. Hello, ladies. My wife and I are massive LPN fans, and we are loving your new show. We will be the first to show up at a future live show. Fingers crossed. Ooh, love that.
Yes.
My wife and I just had our wedding last weekend, November 1st.
Congrats.
Congratulations. It's a few weeks gone by at this point, but still very new. And we have a bitchuation from the wedding to share with you.
Go on.
This story involves one of my groomsmen, who I will refer to as Scott, and his wife, who I will refer to as Paula. Scott is one of my oldest friends who I have known from marching band. I also have known his wife since middle school. They have been together for roughly 13 years, married for 6, and have a baby together. I would consider them to be former best friends of mine. Okay, that's interesting turn of phrase. The bitchuation started when we politely asked for them to leave their baby at home for our wedding day. They refused to leave the baby at home. Oh, my blood is boiling. For the wedding because they, quote unquote, get anxiety anytime they are not with their baby for more than a few hours. I agreed to let them bring the baby to our wedding since it would be an all-day affair and Scott would be involved with the event. He's a groomsman, if you will recall. Wedding day comes around. Everything is beautiful, perfect weather, wonderful wedding ceremony and reception. Everything appears to go without a hitch, and we go to bed with a smile on our faces. The morning after, we had planned to do lunch with our officiant and a couple people who were in the wedding, and this is when we learn about what really happened during the reception. Earlier in the day, when I was hanging out with the groomsmen and their spouses, Scott and Paula are there in the groom suite, I started telling a story about one of my childhood friends who was planning to attend the wedding. They also knew this person from high school. He had to cancel his plans to attend our wedding because he recently discovered that his wife had been cheating on him while he was deployed for the Navy, and this blew up his life recently. Divorce is ongoing, and their 3 kids are with the mom. I have been cheated on, so this caused me to have a visceral reaction while telling the story to my friends in the room. No more words were said on that story, and we moved on to happier topics. As it turned out, which I later learned, Scott had been cheating on Paula while she was pregnant with the baby. No. And my telling of the story of my Navy friend triggered her. Paula started drinking about it on an empty stomach. And later in the evening, she locked herself in the bridal suite bathroom.
What?
Mind you, neither my wife and I were privy to this unfolding throughout the evening since it was our wedding day and we were being pulled in 1,000 directions. Scott eventually came up to me during dinner and calmly stated that they would be leaving a little early and thanked me for including them on my wedding day. No harm, no foul. This is where the story takes a turn for the worse. Apparently, while Paula had locked herself in the bridal suite bathroom, Scott had taken the baby and loaded the baby in their car with the AC on full blast and left the baby in their unlocked car to go get Paula to leave. They left their baby in an unlocked car for 30 minutes.
What?
While Scott tried getting Paula to the car. The venue's valet driver found the baby alone and ran inside to grab my officiant to take the baby. The baby's cheeks were ice cold, so my officiant wrapped the baby in his tux to warm it up. My officiant then runs up to the bridal suite, grabs Scott by the neck, tells him very sternly to quote unquote get his shit together and get the fuck out. After this, Scott was able to get Paula out of the locked bathroom and leave with the baby. And my wife and I were none the wiser as this was going on.
Wow.
Good on my efficient and best man. We only learned about this at lunch the following day. Paula and Scott did not want us knowing that this happened, and they're very embarrassed to say the least. My question is, would I be the bitch if I cut these friends out of our life? Not for getting drunk at our wedding, but for endangering a child who I would consider my nephew? Is Paula the bitch for having zero coping skills and getting blackout drunk at my wedding over me telling a story about cheating? Is Scott the bitch for cheating on his pregnant wife and not asking for help with their kid at the reception? I just lost a ton of respect for these two, and I don't know if I want to continue a relationship with them, even if that means I never see the baby grow up. Ooh, I have a very long and complex relationship with Scott, and this is kind of a last straw moment I'm working to process. This whole situation has already caused a falling out with two of the guys at my wedding party. They are no longer friends with Scott and Paula after this last straw moment. The officiant just sent a scathing text to them this morning, and it's getting pretty ugly. Even if you don't read this, it is very cathartic writing it out.
Sure.
Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Okay, so.
Oh, so this is a last straw moment for a lot of them.
Straw moment.
This is quite a last straw moment because I can't also out the gate. Really good on your efficient and your best man for not including you guys in all this shit that was going down. Can I just say, really, like, snaps go out to them?
The writer said we could call him Francis. So if you want to address Francis, I forgot to mention that.
Okay, all right.
So here's the thing. I'm almost like wanting to separate these two in their bitchy trials. If we're putting them on bitch trial right now, I almost want to separate them. First of all,
are you now or have you ever been a bitch?
You can't handle the bitch. I think I'm almost willing to give Paula a little bit of a pass only because I don't know how old this baby is, but it sounds like she's going through some postpartum stuff. Also because being cheated on while you're pregnant is fucking traumatic because not only are you going through all these hormones, these body shifts, all this stuff, but then your partner didn't find you attractive and went outside of your marriage or your relationship. And even if it wasn't that, it's like awful. That's like an awful time to be cheated on. Not that there's ever a good time to be cheated on. That's, but I have to say that feels worse to be cheated on while you're pregnant. So now they've stayed together. Everything seems fine. Obviously, everything's not fine. She has not processed it.
No.
Cheating is every day in our lives. Every television show has a cheating plot line. Cheating is all over the front pages of magazines. Like, cheating comes up all the time. Her hearing a story in the bridal suite about another friend who got cheated on, sure, you can shift in your seat uncomfortably. It can give you a little pit in your stomach. To have that draw you, completely trigger you into getting so drunk that you're like not paying attention to your baby. Something's going on with Paula. Something's going on with Paula, and she's not over what happened and she needs to process it. So I'm a little bit like, fuck, like, let's give Paula a pass. And again, Francis, maybe there's stuff in here that the behavior that they've exhibited that you've not known about. Not leaving the baby at home on the wedding is annoying. It's kind of like, okay, then one of you doesn't go to the wedding.
One of you doesn't go to the wedding. My
wedding was kid-free. I let only the people who had babies that were still breastfeeding come to the weekend, and I arranged babysitters right upstairs from this reception and close by the ceremony so that they could be at everything without their children. Did a friend still try to bring my baby to the ceremony? Yeah, she did.
Yes.
And did she try to lure people off the dance floor to come back to her room to look at her baby? Yes.
Yes.
Exactly what you don't want happening.
Yep.
You know, that is like crazy to me. Like, yeah, you have anxiety without your kid. Everybody has anxiety without their kids. Like after, like when they're little babies,
sure.
Of course. A lot of people do. Not me, really. I'm like,
where are they?
I'm like,
who cares?
a couple glasses of wine, and I'm like, I have kids. No, like everybody has varying degrees of anxiety being away from their children, and depending on the age. But then you make a plan. Like they asked you not to, and you were like, you insisted on it. And then if you're going to insist on it, then the behavior around the baby has to be fucking immaculate. And that cannot happen when you've asked for an exception. You cannot then get trashed. And like, also, and what's wrong with Scott? Like, it's a wedding crawling with people. Many people would love to just hold a baby.
Hold the baby.
Hand the baby to someone and go, I got to go find Paula. Why would you leave him in the car?
Paula's having an issue. Can you please take care of the baby for a minute?
That's just like, seems like maybe still
new parent.
You have to know from everything that is out in like the media now, it's like you're not allowed to even fucking like run inside and do something with a kid in the car. It's like crazy. Like I have only ever left my kids in the car with the door open and leave the front door of my house open and run in to grab something off the counter and go right back inside. Like a woman got fully arrested and I think lost custody of her child for leaving the window open and the car locked and music on, and the kid was fine and went into a store to go get a pair of headphones. She was in and out of the store in 4 minutes. Somebody called the cops on her. There's like a whole, like, it's either like New York Magazine or Vulture or something like that article about this. Like, you just cannot do this shit.
No.
And the fact that you were at this thing and people know that your wife is drinking and you've left them in there for 30 minutes and with a ton of people and a valet noticing they are lucky that they're not getting in more trouble for that. Like, that's awful.
Yes, and I don't think anyone would have an issue, and I don't think that you would be the bitch if this was your last straw moment. Not only did this happen at your wedding, I do feel that if this is something that has been added on by other things, like if this was like a first time thing, it's like, oh man, they are really in the shit right now and it sounds like they need a lot of help. But I'm so curious as to what made this the last straw. I'm curious as to like what was going on with Paula and Scott, and like, was it the last straw for their relationship, like for Scott and Paula together in your community? Or is it the fact, like, is it that Paula has done this kind of shit before? Or is it that like or is it that Scott has done this kind of shit before and like blown up other things? Like, I am curious as to what makes this the last straw moment.
Yes, I am too. I'm interested in a little bit more of like, why is this the last straw moment? Everybody was like willing to just let this, like, I mean, it is wild. Like, oh my God, you left your kid.
Crazy.
You left your baby in a car for 30 minutes. That's like crazy. But that, if I wasn't having a lot of other issues with a couple that did that, I'd be like, are you guys okay?
We need to talk about therapy
feel
right now.
overwhelmed. Like, you guys are not like handling this right or whatever. To me, it's like being mad that Paula doesn't have coping skills. That could just be a few. I feel like we got to be a little bit more. I need a little bit more information about what's going on with Paula, because it sounds like this is postpartum. This is like she felt extremely betrayed. Yeah, I'm assuming it's her first kid. Like, and she was extremely betrayed by Scott. And yes, he's definitely a bitch for cheating on his pregnant wife. And like, yeah, maybe they weren't ready in their relationship to go to a celebration of love and fidelity.
Right.
Like, maybe they weren't ready for that, you know? And like, I think that they reaching out to you to apologize would be one thing and go like, we're so sorry. Like, we have a lot of stuff to work out in our relationship. And maybe Paula should have just stayed home with the baby and Scott could have been your groomsman. And like, we could have none of this would have happened. But they attempted to do a family event together, and it failed spectacularly. So
I'm also assuming, like, I also feel like this would be a different conversation if Scott had come to you the next day to Francis and said like, hey, we really fucked up yesterday. There was a lot of shit that was going down.
It seems to me like they have not heard from Paula and Scott.
That's what I'm saying.
As of the writing of this, they have not heard from Paula and Scott, although Paula and Scott have been in communication with the officiant and with another groomsman who have been like, fuck you. And he sent us the screenshots, and I'm only not reading them because they're basically just like, I'm done with you. And then it's them going, fuck you. Like, so they're fighting. These other people are fighting.
Just done.
I'm here to address what Francis wants to do.
Okay.
So without a little bit more information, I wouldn't cut them out of your life for this event unless this is literally, you're saying it's last straw moment. I would need more information in order to like co-sign this being a full breakup. I think definitely it's a time where you could say, hey, we heard what went on. obviously I'm concerned for the baby. You consider him like your nephew, you know, like I'm concerned for the baby. Like, are you guys okay? What's going on? If they try to sweep it under the rug and go, oh, it's no big deal, everybody's exaggerating it, maybe you could be like, you know what? Like, I need to step back. You guys aren't taking accountability for like who you're being.
Right.
But if they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry, we're going through a lot, maybe they need you right now as their friend. Like, I don't know. This is one of your groomsmen.
Who you have a long, complicated relationship with.
You have a long, complicated relationship with, which I don't know the ins and outs of, but like you did choose him to be one of the people by your side on quote unquote one of the happiest days of our lives, or whatever, our weddings. And like, then he made a very stupid mistake with the baby. And then to cut him out, I guess I need more context, but I don't think you're being a bitch for like confronting them and talking to them. I don't think just because people are new parents but they seem like they've got a lot of trauma going on with them. And I think for the sake of the baby, you need to go find out what's going on with them.
I'm worried about the baby. Yeah. I'm worried about the baby. I'm worried about the future of that they could lose themselves in a moment. So what would happen if there was nobody else around? And then what would happen?
Yeah.
And I feel like that these people, and my problem is that sometimes I want to go back into like the boomer days of like, they need to be publicly shamed in front of everybody.
I know.
They should have been publicly shamed.
It just would have been so easy to just say, hey, could you just watch my car right now? Could you just sit with my car?
Obviously, Scott
my baby's
was not
sitting in the car.
properly.
Yeah.
And that scares me for the future of this kid.
You guys cannot force your kid into a wedding and then get blackout drunk and make these decisions.
No.
You just can't. But with Paula, I'm like, she's been cheated on. She's got a lot of probably emotions, like having a baby. I don't know how young.
I certainly blame Scott.
I don't know how young
Paula,
this baby is, but like, yeah, I think just
it's both of them,
expecting people to like have coping skills. I mean, the bottom line is not everybody does, and weddings and stuff like this can be triggering for somebody who who was betrayed while they were,
not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. So, okay. Please feel free. I would love from you, Frances, specifically an update. I want to know what other things happen. I want to know, have you confronted them about this wedding behavior? I'm so glad that everyone else like had your back and that none of this leaked out. Because it's always nice to wake up after your wedding and get like a little bit of tea.
What's the shit?
But
what
you don't want to hear. Not that leaving a baby in a car for 30 minutes is tea, but I think
we want more banging stories.
I think the fact that you didn't get wrapped up in this and it didn't become a child abandonment and become a focal point of your wedding day was good. And I'm glad the baby's okay. And yeah, give us an update and give us a little background if you don't mind. I'd love to know more. Okay, let's get to our next voicemail.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, Kara and Jackie. Gotta start out with the compliments. I'm obsessed with both of you.
Cute.
Followed Kara over here from That's Messed Up and fell in love with Jackie as well.
Love you.
Love the pod. So here's the question. I used to be a photographer and I worked for this company and I had all of these photography friends. But this was like a really brief moment in my life. I worked there for less than a year. I hung out with them all for like a few months following the departure from the job, but the friendships fizzled out, even to the point where like I kind of ghosted, I definitely like last minute canceled on like several plans until they just stopped inviting me. Okay. So I do recognize that was a bit bitchy of me, that I was kind of the bitch there, but here's the question. I am getting married next year, and I was thinking of asking one of them if they would want to be the photographer for my wedding. Obviously, I would pay, but I feel like kind of a bitch because I don't really talk to them anymore, and I don't hang out with them, and it's almost like, hey, do you want to take pictures of at my wedding that you're not invited to? Is it like that? I'm thinking like I'd rather give business to somebody I know and I like, even if our friendship fizzled out, than give my business to somebody else. So what do you think? Is it bitchy to ask somebody whose friendship I've kind of let go of if they would be a photographer paid at my wedding? Or should I just go and hire a photographer that I don't know? I'd love to know your take on this, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Great bitchuation.
I mean, great bitchuation. I feel like I'm just like right off the bat, just going to tell you, don't hire your friends for weddings. Don't hire your friends. Don't hire ex-friends. Don't hire. I just think you want people at your wedding, especially photographer.
Yes.
Especially, I would say like photographer and DJ.
Yes.
No, every single vendor, food too.
Yes.
Where's the food? Why isn't it out yet?
Right.
What you need to be able to like kind of yell at people, not yell at people. I don't want you to be a breadzilla, but like for a photographer, it's not like, oh, hey babe, would you like mind getting my family over here? It's like, here's the shot list of things that I need. People are working for you on your wedding day. And if you want things to like go right, I would not involve friends or ex-friends. I think that's complicated. I get wanting to give your friends work. I think you could recommend them to friends' weddings. If you're like, oh, their work is so excellent. But if you're a photographer, then you know other good photographers who you don't know very well. And you could just, or friends, like I personally asked a friend, so we all know Mindy Tucker. I asked her,
amazing photographer.
And I asked her, I was like, you're invited to my wedding because I don't want you to be the photographer. I want you to be invited to my wedding. And so, you know what I mean? It's
yes.
like, I didn't want to have, and she's photographed some of my friends' weddings, but I didn't want to have to like order her around at my wedding day when I wanted her to be a guest.
Right.
And so, and this is a little bit different because these are like friends that you've sort of lost touch with, phased out, whatever. I'm just saying the quick and dirty answer here for me is I'm sure they will appreciate the money, but it feels weird. And I don't think you want to have worry about the way you're talking to anybody or, oh no, like, are they going to tell so-and-so that I didn't ask them to be the photographer? Like, whatever. Just get out of this drama. Your wedding day is going to have enough.
That's what
Listen
I was...
to the last story.
Exactly.
People are leaving babies in cars.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. There's already so much drama on a wedding day, and you want to eliminate anything that's going to add any extra. And maybe you hit up this person and they're like, oh yeah, you know, all good. Everything's going to be great. But you have no idea how they actually feel. And you'd think, oh, well, maybe that person would say no if they don't want to do your wedding.
Right.
You'd think that. But maybe they might want to use that as an excuse to not do as well with your photographs. Or I also had a friend that it asked specifically a friend to do their wedding photographs. And then the friend came, did the wedding photographs, and then just went MIA for
and like got drunk.
14 months though after, and never gave them the photos.
Oh, fuck
and then
that.
But they were like, they were good friends, but like her friend was just really aloof. So she's like, I'm just gonna keep hitting her up. I'm just gonna keep hitting her up. I know that she's gonna, and this was someone that she was paid to do the job. So it's like, well, if I paid a friend to do the job, then they're going to do the job. It's not like I'm just asking them to do a favor. You don't know. And and not everybody would be willing to blow up their career to do something petty. Probably most people wouldn't. But what if this person is?
Black Friday is here, and Pandora Jewelry is offering up to 40% off store-wide and site-wide, now through December 2nd. Explore jewelry designed to last beyond the season, from classic charms to modern rings, bracelets, earrings, and more. Whether you're holiday shopping or treating yourself, now's the perfect time to find something special. Save up to 40% on the jewelry you love. Shop at Pandora.net or your local Pandora store. Exclusions apply.
One day only Thanksgiving Day deals are coming to Lowe's.com. Plus, members get early access to online Black Friday doorbuster deals on gifting favorites, like the still trending Cobalt Mini Toolbox for just $14.98. Don't miss up to 50% off for one day only at Lowe's.com. We help, you save. About 11/27 only on Lowe's.com. Member only doorbusters and midnight Eastern. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change while supplies last.
I also really love that you're like, I don't want to give them my friendship, but I do think I should give them my money.
My money,
like,
yes.
If you don't even care enough about these people to be friends with them, then you don't really need to worry about like giving them money. I know it's like, I know it does in your head make sense. Like,
I get
I'm spending all this money,
yes.
But what you're spending money on are the photos, and you should just get the best person you can afford and someone that you can say that you can work with well and go, I want it this way. I don't like this. I want you to get this side of me. You can't take a picture of these two together because they fucking hate each other. Like, whatever. There's a lot of stuff. You just should be talking to someone in a fully professional way. And that's why I kind of feel like for weddings, I mean, we've talked to a lot of people on this podcast who have been like, oh, I had my friend get a job at my work. I had my friend. It's like mixing friendship with business, which I hate to say it. Your wedding is a bit of a business. You're hiring vendors. So I would keep them out of it if I were you, babe.
But I understand where your brain is coming from. We all like to give each other jobs. We all love to.
Do you feel guilty about the fact that you said you're kind of the bitch and you kind of ghosted them? That maybe you're like, oh, maybe throwing them a job would help? I don't think so.
Nah.
Like they're not interchangeable. So I say just go find a great photographer that you used to be one, so you'll have a great eye for it, and just if you wrote those friends off and it's not making you upset on a daily basis, then I don't think that there's a need to bring them back into your life in a business capacity.
Get somebody else.
All right, Jackie, let's read this next one.
You've got
Love the pod. Jackie is in my ear 4+ hours a week. Hell yeah. During my workouts through Page 7 and book club and romantasy and bitchery. And I just think you're so hilarious and are my parasocial go-to ear friend. Oh my God, I love you. I hope you're having a great time at your workout right now. Kara is a majorly hilarious, badass mom, and I am loving getting to know you and hearing your awesome chemistry with Jackie every week.
You guys are so nice with the compliments.
You're so
you really
sweet.
Bring them with the compliments. Thank you.
All right, I'm ready to jump in. Just a bit of background. My wife and I have been living separately since around the end of the pandemic. Quarantine almost broke our relationship and was obviously stressful for the both of us. I ended up with a, maybe, COVID-related health condition that involves some pretty gnarly chest pain. But long story short, the heart and lung doctors looked at me and shrugged and said I was healthy. X-rays and CT scans and treadmill tests, nothing was wrong. While this was some relief to me, even through my discomfort, my wife is kind of a major hypochondriac and couldn't accept my clean bill of health just because there was that uncertainty about where the pain was coming from. And she swore that she could hear my breathing was different, even though no one else could hear it. It bothered her so much that she started to hate being near me and hearing my breathing because it stressed her out. She refused to even try therapy, saying that she's done it in the past and it doesn't help her. And eventually she ended up moving out of our shared apartment and into a room in the house of a couple of her good friends. Obviously, this was highly devastating for me, but I am a pretty resilient person and an eternal optimist. I'm also an introvert and probably on the Asperger's/autism spectrum, but I'm more just the have difficulty reading people/socially awkward variety rather than the sensory stuff. And honestly, at this point in my life, I consider it a bit of a superpower because it is easy for me to not give a shit about what other people think. Which leads me to my current situation, which is living apart from my wife and seeing her 2 or 3 times a week as if we were dating, and honestly enjoying it more than when we lived together. After she moved out, we decided to start seeing each other once a week at first, and then twice a week as my wife got over her discomfort with me. She says she can still hear my breathing is different, but it doesn't bother her as much. And thankfully, my pain has subsided now that I breathe almost exclusively from my solar plexus rather than my chest. A weird adaptation that has very thankfully worked out well for me. I feel super, super thankful that things didn't get worse, and I'm feeling better even though I do still have weirdness with my chest. Right now, I feel like my life is pretty ideal since I work from home and can just do my own thing 4 or 5 days out of the week and then have nice dates and hang out for the evening with my wife at her friend's place and then go home at the end of the evening. Is it weird? Sure. Does my family understand? Of course not, LOL, but I really don't care what other people think about it. It's basically an introvert's dream, and I feel like I get exactly the amount of social interaction I want on a weekly basis. My wife, who has self-identified as a highly sensitive person and is very smart and neurotic, had told me repeatedly that she likes the situation as well and has not pressured me at all about moving back in together. Until now. My wife's friend's brother-in-law and his wife are moving out of the other upstairs rooms, and my wife is suggesting that I could move into that space, which would be across the hall from her. We've discussed it, and she says we could keep up with our normal routine of hanging out 2 or 3 times a week and otherwise doing our own thing. But I really, really love living alone. I think I do want to move back in with my wife eventually into a space where we both have enough personal space, but I don't want to move into a house with roommates. Her friends are nice people who I like, but they're also neurotic in their own ways, and I would rather not have to deal with any potential drama. The rent would be pretty cheap, which is a plus, but it's also not something we have to worry about since we both work in tech and are pretty solidly dinks. Double income, no kids, who can afford our current situation just fine. My wife has admitted she more so wants me to move into the space so that other potential new roommates who might be annoying won't move in, since her friends would almost certainly want to rent the room out to someone else, if not me. I do want to be closer to my wife since I have to drive about 25 minutes to get to their house now, and I do think we could make it work living together again. But I also just don't want to because I selfishly really just like the status quo of living alone and sticking with my normal routines like the autistic, introverted bitch that I am. Am I the bitch for not wanting things to change and to keep living apart since I feel like our relationship is great as it is now and everything seems fine? I'm already leaning towards saying, you know what? Actually, weirdly enough, I don't know I guess you don't call this a Freudian slip, but the line is, I'm already leaning towards saying to moving in with them, but I'd appreciate your input. And they didn't say yes or no.
So that's a typo.
So Adam, were you leaning towards saying yes or no? Oh my God, edge of our seats. I'm so curious.
It sounds like he's leaning towards no.
It
really sounds like he's leaning towards no.
I'm assuming
First of all, I think you're leaning in completely the right direction. This is definitely unconventional. First of all, I can like feel my husband raging about this arrangement. He's so fucking weirdly conservative about this kind of stuff. He's used to do a comedy bit about some article he read that was like, husbands and wives are living apart. And he goes, that's all marriage is living together. Like, because we have a mutual friend who lived apart from their person, and they had a Mario themed wedding, but they were living apart. And Jared was like, your princess is in another castle. Like, but anyway, I think it's like totally fine. People have all kinds of unconventional living arrangements now. And I think it's great that you guys are doing this. And it's not like it's not like you guys have kids and like one of you is getting stuck with the kids most of the time and you're living apart.
No, it seems like it's working for both of you guys.
It's working for you guys. It feels like your wife, to be honest, I don't really understand. I understand hypochondria, but she thought she was going to get the chest thing that you had.
Or it sounded like she was more annoyed by it than anything.
Or she couldn't stop thinking. Because it feels like if you care about somebody, you don't want to like move out from them if you think they're sick, unless you think you're going to get sick. But whatever, I digress. That's neither here nor there. It sounds like she just wants you to move into that room for convenience. And I don't think that's fair.
Yes.
She just doesn't want an annoying like weirdo to move in there.
And maybe this is a crazy thing to say, and maybe this is just like my idea of what people that like, I know you guys did not say that you were rich, but you both work in tech. Can she not rent out that room and then just have another room so you make sure that nobody else moves into it? So that
if you have enough space,
if you've got that, and I'm just saying, I know that's an insane thing to say, but it's like, then she would have a little extra space, or maybe you do rent out the room, and if you're able to, and then like you leave some stuff there, so maybe every once in a while, if you're able to, I don't know if you have that level of money of able to, if you're working in tech, and I'm assuming you're working where tech is, it's probably very expensive, but if there's a way in which we could throw money at this problem, I feel like we could.
Alternatively, and also would be probably throwing money at the problem, would be you moving a bit closer. Like maybe move somewhere that's like 10 minutes away.
Sure.
So it feels more like I'm surprised that you're actually interested in moving back in together at some point. Maybe it sounds like what you're saying is like an apartment together was too claustrophobic, and that having separate apartments is good. Maybe if you guys were to like move into a house where you could each have your own areas, like that you would see yourself moving in with her,
or an apartment building where you're in an apartment and she's in another apartment in the building, and you're still in the building with each other.
Yeah, I guess I just like that gets me back to like, if you guys do move in together one day, like what happens if you get really sick? Can she not help you? Can she not take care of you? Like, I'm a little bit concerned that like when there's a medical issue with somebody that she takes off, but also I understand hypochondria, but
and
it's
just
also
and losing your mind and thinking about it and listening to the breathing and not being able to sleep. Like, I get that.
If it was all happening during pandemic when no one knew the answers and everything about pandemic was very stressful, I could understand that.
Yes.
But I just want to make sure that before you guys move in together, you're in the kind of relationship where you're like, yeah, but like, Do I want to see my husband's butthole? Not really. But will I have to wipe it one day when we're in our 90s?
Probably, yeah.
You know, like that's just life. But I think that you should say that you're really enjoying where you are right now. That moving across the hall from her, it's not that you don't want to be close to her. It's like you do not want to live with these other roommates. And that if you really want to talk about it, why don't you guys talk about getting your own apartments in the same apartment building? Like go get studios in the same apartment building where you're on different floors, but you have your own space. Like if you're doing that right now, it's like she doesn't need to be, if you guys are dinks and you have a little bit of income, she doesn't need to be living with her friends. And if she's worried about somebody annoying moving in, then clearly she doesn't really want to be with roommates either. So instead of having you be the Band-Aid on the annoying roommate situation,
which is not the answer,
why don't you both get away from having roommates and try to move somewhere close to each other? If that is the goal of both of you to eventually reunite, then let's start making the baby steps towards that, which is like maybe moving like physically distance a little bit closer and maybe just each having your own apartment where neither one of you has roommates.
Yes, because
own
definitely
apartments.
Do not move into this home.
No,
you can't.
Not with this scenario.
Do it. It is not a good idea, especially when you start living a world, when you are done with having roommates. And I loved having roommates. I really was one of those people. I loved living with my friends. I love having people around all the time. But at some point you get to a place where you're like, I'm done.
Yeah. And you are clearly one of these people. You like living alone.
Yes.
You like doing your own thing. You're introverted. That makes sense. So I think you should just say it to your wife in a way that like, this feels like it's a solution for you. It's not a solution for me. But I would love to keep talking about how we can be physically closer together or maybe get apartments in the same building or something like that, you know?
And making sure she knows that it has nothing to do with what you both have right now. Although it is, because you don't want that to change because it is working for you guys right now.
You're not being selfish, I think, for saying the current situation which your wife instigated is working for you. And you don't want to get into a situation that you're pretty sure you're not going to enjoy, like living with other neurotic people. Like living with a neurotic wife is one thing. That's a person you're in love with.
Right.
Living with a bunch of like her neurotic friends who are nice people but have like, that's just not, that doesn't seem like you like being alone. So you're either going to be alone in a closer place to your wife or be with your wife in a space where you guys have your own space. But this does not seem like the solution for you.
No.
And I think you know that. So I don't think you're being a bitch. And I think you should just be honest and tell her how you feel, because I don't think you're saying anything that's like offensive.
Live your truth, babe.
Yeah.
You gotta live your truth.
If you were a person writing into us going, here's the deal, we separated, and honestly, I realized that I hate the way she lives. She's messy, this and that. I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, that's a different thing. That's a different thing you got to talk about. Like, you know, because that's like, but this is really just kind of like, she wants you to be like
like you said, a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid for this, and it's like not a bad roommate situation.
No, we're gushing here. We don't need
we got a gusher. All right. Here is our next call. Thank you, though, Adam, for writing in.
Yes,
loving all you men calling us in and writing in.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Jackie, Kara, hi. I've been an LPN fan for 5 ever. Super low stakes. Hi, my name's Molly. My mom died. It'll be 9 years in December. And so my dad started dating a couple years later. Really no drama with that. We love her. She's great, you know, yada, yada, whatever. But super low stakes. He and I used to share an Amazon account, okay? Oh, no. And I was on vacation in Colorado with my then boyfriend, and we were off-roading in the mountains, and when you're in the middle of nowhere, you have no service. And we get to the very top of the summit, taking pictures. I'm like, OMG, I have service. Trevor, Dennis just bought something on our Amazon account. Let's see what Dennis just bought. And wouldn't you know, my father at the time, who was probably, 60, bought on Amazon with our shared Amazon account a box of Trojan Her Pleasure condoms.
Oh, no.
I was mortified. No. I immediately screenshotted it and sent it to both my siblings. and then texted him and said, hey, the next time you need to buy condoms, can you please just go to Walmart like a normal person? They're probably cheaper there anyway. Okay, thanks, bye. And his response was, don't tell your siblings. Like, I already did, Dennis. Anyway. And
I already did, Dennis.
So I'm just wondering if I'm the bitch, because since then, this is probably, what, 2019, 2018? He still has his credit card on my Amazon account, although we no longer share it. But I want to say about every 6 weeks, I do an emotional turmoil repayment plan with him. So about every 6 weeks to 2 months, I will charge something stupid on Amazon to his credit card. Usually a max is about, $50. He has not noticed. So this has been going on for, I can't math, but since like 2018. So I was just wondering, am I the bitch for continuing to punish my dad for buying condoms on our Amazon account for he and his girlfriend? Should I stop doing it? Or is that the kind of emotional turmoil that deserves monetary reimbursement? So super low stakes. Love you guys. All of LPN's network shows are the highlight of my week. They keep me sane. I am a night shift nurse in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and some nights are shit shows, and some I take a nap or do homework. And your podcasts keep me going. But yeah, sorry, I was rambling. I have ADHD, but
I
hope you guys have a great week. Okay, bye.
Love this, Molly.
My God,
I love
Molly.
This. I love this.
Listen, I just did some quick math, and
Emotional
it feels
turmoil?
like if you've even been doing this since 2020, that you've treated yourself to between 40 and 50 gifts.
Yeah.
If you're doing it around every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's between 40 and 50 gifts.
And she deserves every single one of them, Kara.
I just think
she deserves every one of the gifts, Kara.
First of all, why is your dad buying condoms if he's 60? Like, is he fucking a woman that he could get pregnant? Because otherwise, it's like, are they not just testing to see if they have STDs and then raw dogging it? It's
Isn't
so
it also
funny.
nice
to wrap it up when you're 60? Like, is so
at least
funny.
he got her pleasure.
But
Like,
wait,
at least that's good.
Yeah. First of all, why are we not giving Dennis any credit for that?
Right?
He's getting her pleasure condoms.
Also, and I know that this is your father, so we don't want to do this, but like, not only that, but he's also the one buying the condoms. He's also the one taking care of it, so we do appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a proactive safe sex icon. I just think it's
He's a safe sex icon.
I guess it's like as I'm getting older and older, I'm just like getting to people thinking that people can't fuck when they're 60 is a little bit crazy to me. Like 60 is not that old. Like there's women like who just had their 70th birthday. Kris Jenner just had her 70th birthday. She's got a brand new fucking face.
Oh my God, that face.
People are fucking at 60. So I get it though. You don't want to think about your dad having sex. Of course. I think maybe doing this for like a year would have been okay. I think at this point, you're definitely the bitch for doing it for 5 or 6 years. And your dad's not even noticing.
The condoms the one time he got condoms. You've been punishing him for
6 years. It's a little excessive, Molly. I feel as though he's paid the fuck tax to his daughter.
Probably paid the fuck tax.
And we could like let it go now, but it is funny. Like it is funny, like that you're doing it.
Yes.
So I will say you're a funny bitch.
Yes.
But I would stop.
Yeah.
But I guess
probably.
also if your dad's like rich and doesn't even fucking notice, I mean, who cares?
He's not
Just
noticing.
keep doing it. But if it was like if he noticed, I mean, like, how is he not noticed?
I know.
He doesn't notice
Well,
that
if it's
there's
linked to the Amazon account, he probably just assumes it's something that he got off of Amazon.
Yeah, but it's like stuff he's not receiving or buying. It's like stuff she's ordering for her and using his credit card to pay with.
Like he's looking at his emails. You think that he's keeping up with any of that
I
stuff?
just go in sometimes to my Amazon, check my orders. If I saw that there was like, now, what about if he was to log into the Amazon and see your tampons or your lube for sex or something, would you then be subject to the gross out tax? Does it go both ways, Molly?
No, because it sounds like Molly's getting it cheaper at a goddamn
Molly's
Walmart.
going into Walmart like a regular person.
I really love.
I bet
the
your
little
dad was
treats.
like embarrassed to go to Walmart. He was like, I don't want to walk into a Walmart and buy condoms. I
Yes.
just want to like have these delivered to my doorstep. That's why people buy most stuff on Amazon.
Yes.
Anyway, you're funny. I think this is solo stakes. I don't even know if we actually need to even fucking weigh in, but I would like tell your dad, be like, by the way, I've been punishing you for 6 years, but I've decided to lift the
I'm lifting it. Yeah.
I've decided to lift your sentence.
Yes.
You've been paroled.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
don't
been
do it
5
again.
years, you know?
It's like a funny family joke at this point. That's really,
yeah,
really
do your
fun.
siblings know? I would love to
Well,
know.
yeah, do they know about the condoms?
They know about the
but, like,
condoms, yeah.
Have you been telling them about this? Because if that were my sibling, I'd be like, okay, order me something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
no,
want
I'd
in on the
in.
gravy
Oh,
train.
I want in on it. No, for
Yeah.
sure.
But, I hope your dad is still getting ass and fucking, like we got to let people fuck as long as they can.
Yeah.
I really think once you stop, that's when the brain starts to go.
You're right.
All right. Thank you so much, Molly,
Thank
for that.
you. It was
Delightful.
amazing.
We love a low stakes. I love somebody left a baby in the car. I've been making my dad pay fucking creep tax for the last 6 years. This show really contains multitudes.
I
and
love
it's
it
so
so
funny.
much.
All right. Final. I had to do this one because
Ooh,
it's
okay.
so perfect for us. Okay.
You got
Hi, Kara and Jackie. I'm a woman heavily involved in my city's local comedy scene.
Ooh.
God bless you. I not only perform, but also help produce shows for beginning and intermediate performers to get more stage time. I also do most of the social media and admin work for the indie comedy team I'm part of.
Great.
Recently, men in the scene have started asking to buy me coffee and quote unquote pick my brain about how to produce shows, run social media accounts, start a comedy group, etc. Some of these are friends, some are acquaintances, and others are friends of friends. So far, I've said yes to 8 of these meetings.
Whoa.
Most of them continue to try scheduling further meetings. I love helping people, but here's the bitchuation. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
These
yeah,
coffees are starting to feel like unpaid work. They are.
Yeah.
It might be different if it was only once in a while, but just this weekend, 4 people reached out to me on the same day to schedule a coffee meeting next week. That's like 4 to 8 plus hours of my time.
Yeah.
What should I do? It's a small scene, so outright telling them that I don't want to meet up feels weird because I'll run into them at shows and auditions. Charging for my time also doesn't quite feel appropriate. All options make me feel like I'll earn a reputation as a gatekeeper or something. It should also be noted that I do not think these people are meeting up to try to date me. These are purely professional meetups. As 2 women with experience in comedy and producing, I feel like you're both ultra qualified to weigh in on this and would appreciate any wisdom you have to impart. Thank you for your time, bitches. I admire you both so much. Best bitches, S. O.S.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
It's so hard to be a competent woman in this fucking world.
Especially in comedy.
It's so hard.
Oh yeah. They'll see you. They'll see you from a mile away and be like, "Oh my God, can she do things? Can she take care of me, please, and tell me what to do?"
You know what's so funny too is like I do sometimes think that the pick your brain meeting is romantic, and I was glad that you covered that you don't think that it is because my husband went out on a can I pick your brain date with a friend of mine before we ever started dating, and he thought it was a date, and she just truly wanted to be like, how do you get a manager? How do you get an agent? Listen, everybody is trying to fucking shortcut in this life, and you are not responsible for being their shortcut. Everybody has to figure out how to run a show for themselves. If people want to ask you a few questions, you could go, hey, my schedule's so packed right now, I don't have time for coffee. If you want to shoot me a couple questions over email, I'd be happy to answer them when I get a chance. And then you take your goddamn time, you give quick answers. You do not need to be doing the work for people.
Correct.
I started producing on my own. I just looked at what other people did. I would once in a while ask a friend a couple of questions. I would make mistakes and learn from my mistakes. It is not your job to hand a perfectly curated producer how-to manual to these men.
Nope.
And I will go ahead and extrapolate that to any woman in any field. If you feel like men are noticing that you're successful at something, or with anyone, if you feel like people are trying to kind of just like crib from you and not do the work themselves, like advice is one thing. I've done this pick your brain coffee date a bunch of times. I've been on both sides of it. I've asked people to have coffee with me. I've been on the other side of it. So if it's a friend, I'm always willing to help out.
Of course.
If it's not a friend, or if it's a friend of a friend, or just an acquaintance, that's an email. that is like
It's an email or a Zoom, maybe. You should not be going anywhere. You should not be putting your time as hostage for any of these situations. That's the thing. You got to now, all right, if you still want to help people every once in a while, then you have to make it only work for you because you are the professional that they are coming to. This is not gatekeeping. This is not being like, I know the secret and you don't. No, you have figured out what works for you in this world of which you have carved a niche for yourself in your community, and you've worked very hard to get it. That is not something people can just jump to. And yes, you can answer a couple of questions, but all these like follow-ups but can you also read this? And can you also give me notes on this?
That's for friends. That's for good friends.
Sure,
like
good
that's
friends.
for somebody that like you really appreciate what the art that they're trying to put forward, and maybe you're going to collaborate on something.
Your time is money. Your time is
money. Your time is worth it, and that's for everybody. If you have a coworker that's like, oh, I really just can't figure out this system at work. Can we take like 4 hours this weekend for you to teach it to me? Like, I don't know. Do you like this person enough? Maybe then that's your choice. But I would be like, no, learn it, figure it out. Like everybody, I totally help people out and like to lift people up. You know what is also a great thing you could do? Make a fucking sheet of a couple of how-tos and go, here's what I usually send to people that are looking to start shows.
Done.
Good luck. Hope you, let me know when your show comes up. I'd love to come check it out.
Exactly.
And then you have the same fucking form email for people, and you just, because people's level of incompetence is varied. You could have people coming to you going, how do you find a venue? And then how do you book the comics?
And then what do I do? And then if you could hold my hand. But if it's people that are like, hey, I have a question for you. Like, do you find that it's better to run an account for the show or run it from your own personal account for a little while until it builds up enough? That's like, oh yeah, you know what I actually did for this show? I did this. Things you can answer over email really quickly. Great. I think people think they're being polite with the like, let's go to coffee and pretend to be friends so I can get all your ideas. No.
Just be like, I'm too busy. If you have a couple questions, shoot them to me over email and I would be happy to help you. Because then I think people are like, awesome. She's prioritizing. This is not somebody I can walk all over.
Right.
But this is somebody who's also saying that they're not slamming a door in my face. They're willing to help, you know? But I think if someone's like truly weaponized incompetence drives me insane. If someone's truly like, I was thinking about running a show. Could you walk me through A to Z how to fucking do that? No, that is not what you're there for. And if they want to do that, they can hire you as a fucking consultant for their comedy show.
I think that you should also create the boundaries for you professionally of what you are willing to do. Sure, if you would be willing to answer an email, jump on a quick Zoom, something like that, fine. After that, people pay for your work. Your advice, what you're doing, people get paid lots of money to do exactly what you're doing. And you're not trying to like squeeze people for everything they're worth, but you deserve more than that.
Yeah.
And your advice and everything that you have like put together over your many years of experience, it requires money to find. That is at that point, and it's not gatekeeping.
Producing
it's just
is a skill. Producing is a skill. And you honestly, by spending 4 to 8 hours of your week, you're not working on your own comedy. You're not working on your own shows that you want to get people to. You're not like, so you cannot keep giving yourself out for free like that. I think you should just, like I said, I mean, at one point I wrote a Facebook post being like, if you'd like to know how to get booked on a comedy show, here are 10 tips. And a lot of people read it and passed it around to each other because I was like, I'm not trying to gatekeep, but you guys are out here acting like fucking idiots. Stop like approaching bookers for shows this way. So in a way, once I started doing that, I got way less calls, way less. So in a way, like if it's going to be more convenient for you, share information. But it's like I said, it's the hand holding. You don't need to be doing the hand holding, and you're not gatekeeping. It's like if somebody that you're friends with is like, hey, I've been wanting to run a show at this place, and you're like, I know the owner, I'd be happy to put you in touch. If you think that person would be a good showrunner, that's the other thing too. You don't want to help people who are then going to use your name around town. I don't care how small your scene is or how big it is. You don't want people using your name around town going, oh, so-and-so said that they're actually kind of helping me produce my show. It's like, no, I had coffee with you. It's like people will say, oh, so-and-so told me to come do your show. And I'll ask the person, I'll go, I told them your show existed.
Right.
I didn't say recommend you. I didn't recommend. So people are out here trying to fucking cut corners all the time and give out whatever information you've got time to give out, babe.
But good for you for helping other people, because we all want to help each other. We do want like all the boats rise.
But it's not, it can't be your full-time job. All of this has to be within reason. Then it gets like, you just get a reputation for being like, oh, just call S. Like she'll just literally set the whole thing up for you. Right. She'll just give you a walk play-by-play over a 2-hour coffee. Fuck that. You don't have time for that.
We ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
You are important and so is your time. Thank you for writing in. And I really believe, I hope nobody tuned out of that because it was about comedy. That's about anything in your life. Like if someone's coming to you just being like, too many people are coming to you like using your time to help them. There's helping people up to a point where it's actually taking away from yourself, and you need to. Because sometimes I feel that way. I give a lot of my fucking time to the PTA at my school, and sometimes I'm like, I got to step back. I got other shit I got going on. You know what I mean? Like I got other stuff I got going on. Not that kids can't use my help. Of course, I'm doing a lot, but you gotta help yourself as well. Another episode that we've simply flown right through. Thank you to everybody who writes us, leaves us voicemails. I love listening and reading all of your dilemmas. If we haven't been able to read yours on the air, as it were, don't think I have not. A lot of them are highlighted as ones I want to put on. We just don't have the time.
And we're circling back to them.
We'll circle back, but also feel free to call in.
Yes.
Call in to our
Holiday Bitchathon.
The Holiday Bitchathon. We are ready and waiting for you on December 11th. We're going to have 4 jam-packed hours of taking calls, making jokes and cokes, drinking, blinking, having fun.
Hell yeah.
Mark your calendar and we'll see you then. And you can check out our other Bitchathons, our Fall Bitchathon, as well as our Summer Bitchathon. Those are both on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@who'sthebee. And hit our Instagram up at Who's the Bitch LPN. And we'll see you next week.
Hell yeah. Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
What can 160 years of experience teach you about the future? When it comes to protecting what matters, Pacific Life provides life insurance, retirement income, and employee benefits for people and businesses building a more confident tomorrow. Strategies rooted in strength and backed by experience. Ask a financial professional how Pacific Life can help you today. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York, Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey crafters, you're invited to visit the new Knit and Sew shop at Michael's. Find hundreds of fabrics in over 800 stores and over 100,000 styles on Michaels.com. Shop your favorite yarn brands, including Big Twist, Karen Cakes, and Burnett in multiple styles and colors. You'll also find all the machines, tools, and notions you need with top brands like Singer, Brother, and Pellon, plus essential thread and floss. It's all new at Michael's.